when I saw the finish, I'm thinking, I don't know if that's the best thing to leave this crowd with. It's the last match of the night. He is from the UK, or he is from over there.
He's from Scotland, yeah.
And did you hear what's the announcer's name? Samantha Irving? When she said, well, that's it. We're going to go, they started booing like hell because they did not like the finish. And then again, which brings in another thing. CM Punk, I know he's got an issue with Drew, but they had to come back later and say that he was cleared for referee work. If you think about it, you say, well, why would he be he's not a referee, he's a wrestler. Why would he be? And they did show a thing where he got a referee shirt from one of the referees, a female referee. And then he went out there, but how many referees they got on those big pay-per-views? They got at least 6, 7. Why would CM Punk just happen to show up out there? Well, so there's more questions about this than there are answers. Of course, it'll work out in the long run, but I'm saying this doesn't really, I don't know how much I think the creative team may have done too much thinking on this one.
I love the idea that they at least tried to explain away why CM Punk beat another referee to the ring. And, it was a spur of the moment thing. And then he gets a referee shirt from one of the women referees and then goes out there. I also love, we're going to go back to Drew and the decision to not have
what they should have done. They should have had CM Punk pull the shirt off of her.
What, just because you want to see some boobies?
Well, she got a bra on and to pull it off and, Then he says, hey, do you ever wash this thing?
Listen, that would go up human resources quicker than you could blink in this day and age, let me tell you.
But if that was a match that I was booking, you don't really want to leave them with a bad taste in their mouth, especially in the last match anywhere. It could be just a little bit of a damn high school gymnasium show. Give them a finish, and then they say, well, it's over, and we'll go home. But if you give them that, the DQ or even that, and it doesn't make sense, now you got more questions than you have answers, and they boot them at the end. I mean, they'll get through it. It's not going to stop anything, but did you like it?
Right, so I watched the show because it was on at a civilized hour of, I think it was like 7 till 10 or whenever it was, or 10:30. I totally forgot it was on. I missed the first hour. I watched the second, third hour, and I watched the main event. I watched the Sami Zayn thing with Chad Gable, and I was wondering why.
How was that?
It was a good match, but here's the problem. The story of the match that it seemed to be leading to was Otis defending Maxine Dupree, yes, and then turning on Chad Gable. And either one or two things. Somehow Otis turns on Chad Gable and then leads to Sami winning, or Otis turns on Chad Gable, attempts to attack Chad, and then somehow attacks Sami, and that's how Chad Gable wins the IC title, which I thought either one would have been absolutely fine. But then Otis doesn't turn at all. He just does that thing where he's just like, just angry about it, but then doesn't do anything. And like the crowd, it was a great crowd in Glasgow as well. I mean, for that amount of money you're paying, you're going to make sure that's the best night of your life for the money. And they were chomping at the bit to see a turn. And they didn't. And then they just did it on Raw. And the Raw one wasn't that spectacular either. It was just a shove and then they walked out. So I thought they missed the boat on that. That would have been perfect. And then, as you said, I don't know why, for a minimum get-in of like, $350, $400 a ticket, that they couldn't let the hometown hero win the belt. And they could have just switched it back on Raw for all it was. But I think the paying customer deserved a better finish than that. And I know you're going to bring this up as well. It's not the same as when Sami Zayn and Roman Reigns were in Montreal, because that was a hometown crowd as well. But yeah, so once again, the finishes, and that they didn't give the crowd anything special.
Well, the crowd already has a bad taste in their mouth because the last time he was there, he lost.
Mm-hmm.
So remember, I talked about this last week. I said 2 times in a row, and I picked Drew to win. I did. I said they're not going to beat him or let him come out on the bottom end 2 times in a row. Nah, they won't do that. But guess what? They did. But again, it's wrestling, so we're going to have to let it go.
I mean, even worse. What if Damian Priest really was injured, and then he just had to vacate the title 2 days later? I mean, he didn't, but it's almost a miracle that he got away without his knee torn up.
I bet Triple H and the creative team, they were saying, "Oh God, oh God, oh God, what are we going to do now?" Because now this takes their whole. Now it shifts everything that they were going to do there. It shifts it to Raw. So that's how quickly plans can change. Somebody gets hurt, you got to change it. And you got to go with the next best thing that you can come up to keeping you in the same spot, because these cards are booked months in advance, months. I mean, but they're booked with, you have the out factor in them, what you could do. If this guy gets hurt, well, you got to do this. And Triple H knows how to do that. And they can change, they can turn on a dime anyway. But I did think it was odd that they had him lose a second time on that type of finish. And, but anyway.
I'll give you another scenario. Drew McIntyre wins, CM Punk then walks out with his theme music, everyone's really happy. Then he gets in Drew McIntyre's face and says, "I'll be cleared for SummerSlam," and that's it.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got a championship win, history's been made, and now you've furthered it for the next pay-per-view in a month or two's time.
What if they have Drew win, like you said, and then Punk gets in his face, right? And then he said, "I'll be ready for SummerSlam. But let me leave something to remember me by." And he shoots him in the knee with like a little 22, and then leaves him laying. Now that's memorable, I would say. Let me just leave you with a little memento of what I said. That would shock everybody.